This video will show you the fastest way to easily track text and images to moving objects inside of Davinci Resolve. This can be done in the free version of Resolve, but if you have the studio version, you have access to intellitrack, which is slightly better than the point tracker. I'll showcase how to add text, animated titles, and images to moving objects, starting with simple text. Let's say I want to track this lorry. You can adjust the clip length for the duration you want to track, but for this example, I'm just going to leave the duration as it is. Open the Fusion page. If you need a tutorial on how to get all the pages, I'll leave a link in the description. Once you're here, with the media selected, which it should be selected by default, press Shift Spacebar on your keyboard, and then add the tracker tool. This adds intellitrack, which is a studio feature. If you're on the free version, the following steps will be exactly the same, but instead of intellitrack, you'll just be using the point tracker, which also works pretty well. Move the tracker to the object you want to track. Select somewhere that has more contrast. Use the viewer near the bottom right for fine adjustment. Then, once your tracker is placed, tap Track Forward. This will track your object nice and quickly. Once the tracking has finished, without any node selected, press Shift Spacebar on your keyboard again and add the Transform XF node. Connect this to the tracker node. Then, bring this text icon into your workspace and add it above the Transform node and make sure it's connected to Transform. Now, this is the important bit. Go back on the tracker and in the inspector, select Operation, and from the drop-down, select Match Move. Now you can go back to the text and add your text. If the operation isn't in Match Move and is on None, like default, then the text won't show. Then, with the Transform node selected, you can select the center point and move the text to where you want it to follow the object. This looks pretty good, but you'll notice near the end of it, where the object goes out of frame, the text is glitchy and we don't want the text to remain there. If you have a clip like this where the object you're tracking moves out of frame, I'd recommend adding a fade effect, and we'll do this by adding a brightness contrast node while the text is selected. In the brightness contrast node, ensure alpha is on, then go to the point where you want the text to disappear, add a keyframe, and set gain to 0. Then go back around half a second to a second, and then set the gain to 1. This will fade your text away so it looks cleaner and the text isn't just lying around. So that's just for simple text. If you wanted to add an image, add your image to the media pool. The steps are exactly the same, but instead of the text node we're using, you simply drag your image into the workspace and ensure it's connected to the Transform node. And if we want to use the same dissolve or fade out effect, we can actually connect the brightness contrast node in between the image and the transform. So again, it fades out just like with the text. Lastly, if you want to add an animated or macros text, for example, I want to add a call out title pointing to the lorry, you can go to the edit page, add your animated title, then adjust the settings to create your title. In the edit page, you don't actually need the title to be positioned perfectly. We'll do that in Fusion. So after your title is done, hold the title or right click on your mouse and select New Compound Clip. Click Create, and now this will save the clip into the media pool. Next, delete the compound clip from timeline. It will still be saved in the media pool, and open the Fusion page. And like before, you of course have to add your tracker and transform node. Since we've already done that, in this example, all I have to do is take out the image and replace it with the compound clip. This will also add the same fade out at the end because we also have it connected to the brightness contrast node. Generally though, for all of these, you'll only be using 3 nodes, the text, clip, or the image, into the transform, into the tracker. Of course, for this example, we want to keep the brightness contrast node with the keyframe so it fades out. I've just included this little hack with the brightness contrast keyframes, just in case you have a clip where the object moves out of frame. You can still track your text, but fading it out makes it look overall a bit more smoother. Just to summarize, the steps are add a tracker, add Transform XF node and connect it to the tracker, Then add text or image into the transform node. And lastly, ensure the tracker has operation match move enabled. This is my first video on Davinci Resolve. I'm a professional editor who only uses iPad for my editing. Let me know your thoughts on the video. I'm mostly a LumaFusion user, but I do know my way around Davinci Resolve on the iPad, so I'll also be making more Davinci videos.